Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lindsay and this is All Things Aesthetics. So today we're going to be doing a video on how you can go from using Bocouture and Botox Allergan over to Azzalure. So everyone in the industry who's trained in Botox knows that there's a difference between the two, the units, the mix-up, placement, etc, etc. So I'm going to be teaching you the most simplest way of how to convert. It's probably not textbook of how it should be done on the instructions on the back of the box. So please don't come at me with your, that's not how you do it. It's not how you do it. However, I am very black and white. I learn very one way or the other. It's either one thing or it's the other. You know, simple ways. I want an easy life. That's how I learn. So that's how I'm going to show you guys. If you want to learn the technical way, read the instructions on the back of the box. That's all I'm going to say. All right. Also, just a little pointer. I still can't smile properly. So that's why I look a bit weird on camera. Look. What's my eye? My wedding's in 2 weeks, guys. Please pray for me. I can't bother to go downstairs and get another cup, so I'm just going to drink out of my 4-year-old's little beaker. So, Azzalure. Let's go into the differences. Oh my god, I've got hair. All right, so you've learned Bocouture or Botox Allergan, whatever way you want to look at it, and you want to go into using Azzalure. So in clinic, I mean I don't do beginners training anymore because of regulations coming in. However, when I did, I used to train my students with Bocouture. Reason being, well, the main reason being is you can't really mess it up. I mean, you can, but you know, it's a very simple product to use. It's very, very safe. It's got a smaller amount of spread to it. So if you accidentally go a little bit out of the line, you know, it's not going to be the end of the world. I don't train people in Azzalure because for me personally, I think it's very strong. It moves double the amount. And yeah, if you move it and you misplace it a little bit, it's a lot harder to sort of resolve than it is for Bocouture or Botox Allergan, in my personal opinion. So I'm just going to refresh on how I use Bocouture or Botox Allergan, because again, people use it in different ways. So I'm just going to explain how I use that first, because then when I tell you how to convert it, it'll make a lot more sense. Okay. So with Bocouture or Botox Allergan, I mix, let's just stick with a 50 unit bottle, for example. So we're going to stick with a 50 unit bottle. I personally mix with 1.2 or 1.25 mil of Torbac. Some people mix it with 1.5. You know, some people mix it with less. It's just personal preference. That's what I mix it with, is 1.25 normally on an average for the bottle. Okay, so once you've mixed up your bottle of Bocouture or Botox Allergan, whatever it is you're using, I would then use an insulin syringe to inject the units with. So I work by insulin units. I don't work on Botox units. I was never ever trained in Botox units, and to be honest, even after 5 years, probably couldn't even tell you what it is. I've never looked at the conversion. I've never needed to. So anyone who, you know, uses Botox units and who knows it's different, please double check what the conversion is and don't just take what I'm saying as gospel, because if you, you know, mix up in a different way or you use Botox units, it's going to be different for you. So please double check. So I inject in insulin units. And the reason I do, again, because it's easy, I've got an insulin syringe, and on each individual line is 1 unit. That's the way that I work it out, okay? So what I normally do in forehead, so in the frontalis, with using Bocouture or Botox, each point, wherever I put it, is gonna be about 5 units, insulin units. So I normally do 5, 5, 5, you know, and you get the drift. In the frowns here, I normally do 10, 10, 5, okay? Depending on how strong it is, you could do 10, 10, 10, or you could do 5, 5, 5. Just depends on what you do, okay? But that's normally what I do. I normally mix it up a little bit. Around the eyes, I normally do I'd say here I normally do like a 3 or a 4, just under here, not in the brow, under the tip. I covered that in my last Botox video, so I'm not going to go through that again, but I don't come here, come in the eye underneath. And then I do 1, 2, again, depending on where the wrinkles are. And I do 10, 10, 10, 10, and then maybe like a 4 or 5 there. Okay, so when you're going over to Azzalure, the way you want to mix it up is, okay, let's just break this down in a really, really simple way. When you're using insulin units and you've mixed up your Bocature, in your head, just say to yourself, when I'm using Azzalure, it's half. That's literally it, half, okay? So Azzalure, everyone knows, only comes in one size bottle, and you mix it with 0.63 ml of Torbac, okay? So in your brain, just say to yourself, you know, like, where's the logic? So for me, this is how I worked it out. So I'm like, well, okay, so basically a 50 unit bottle of Bocature and a 125 Spaywood units of Azzalure, which is the smaller bottle, are basically equal, if that makes sense. So I just class them as the 2 small bottles. So when I've mixed up Bocature with, let's say, 125 units, and then Azzalure is mixed up with 0.63, that is basically half. So what's 0.63 times 2? 0.26 or something like that. Is that right? 1.26, sorry. So it's basically the same as 1.25 mixing up with Bocature. So once you've mixed it, how do you inject it? Well, the units are, again, just injected in half. So whatever you do for the forehead, the frowns, the eyes, that you would normally do with Bocature, you just half. So let's just run this through again. So say you're doing the forehead and you do 5s, okay? So you do 5, 5, 5 for Bocature, or you do 4s, some people do 4s for Bocature all along the forehead. So you're using Azzalure. So what are you gonna do? 2s or 3s, yeah? You're just halving it, okay? So I normally do 2, 2, 2, 2, just because it's a, you know, it is a stronger, I think it's stronger anyway, it moves a little bit further. So if I do 5s with Bocature, I normally just do 2s or 3s along the forehead with Azzalure. So same here. So with frowns, if I'm injecting a 5 as I would with Bocature, I'd just do 2s or 3s. If I'm injecting 10 for Bocature, then I would do 5s for Azzalure. Yeah, same with round eyes. So all you need to do is write in your notes, or wherever you want to put it, in your phone or whatever, the amount that you inject for Bocature. When you come to injecting the units using Azzalure, you mix up with 0.63 ml for the bottle, and then you inject half of the amount that you would use in Bocature or Botox Allergan. Does that make sense? I don't want to confuse you guys too much, but that is literally my way of going into it. So that's how I learn. No, it's not Spaywood units and it's not Botox units. It's all done with insulin units, and I don't know why the companies just try and confuse us, guys. I really don't. What's the point? Just make it easy and simple for everyone, you know? Where's the common sense nowadays? So yeah, that's what I do. I just literally half it. Yeah, I don't want to go too far into it. Oh, the only thing I did want to say is just remember, when you're using Azzalure, it does have double the amount of spread. So when you inject with Bocature, it's typically got around a 1 centimetre spread per dot where you put it. With Azzalure, it's around 2 centimetres. So just think, if you put, you know, a dot, this is why I don't like to train my beginners in it, just in case when they go off on their own, they're not really confident in, you know, markings as such yet, with like not that much experience. So I always teach my beginners to leave like a couple of centimetres, you know, where the eyebrow is before, you know, never inject down here. But if they came a little bit low with Bocature, it's not really gonna do, it's not gonna be the end of the world. You know, it might cause a little bit of heaviness, but it's not gonna, you know, fully drop someone's eyebrow. Whereas if you did that with Azzalure and you came a little bit low, you've got a little bit of a problem because it spreads double the amount. So rather than the Botox spreading to here, it's gonna spread to here, yeah? So just be mindful of your markings. In the forehead especially, when you're using Azzalure, try and just stay a little bit higher the first time. You can always top them up in a couple of weeks when they come back, you know, just review the movement, and if they need a top up, top it up. But just try and stay a little bit higher away from the eyebrows as such. But apart from that, that is literally pretty much it. So I hope that made sense, and I hope I didn't ramble on too long. Give this video a like, please subscribe to my channel, it really helps me out. And if anyone's got any questions, or you know, they want any help or clarification, please drop me a comment below, and I will see you all soon. Thanks guys, bye.